you get on your next training for real, and you say, guys, this will get you a deal in the next 30 days. Do this. What is it?
I can tell you, we just got done with the real estate video blueprint plug. That was a fantastic event all about video for real estate. And in my position now, I really sit back and look at who's doing video, and everybody's doing something. And there's a bunch of people with a bunch of followers, but I have to dig in to the next level and say, which one of these people with 30,000 followers, 1 million followers, which of them's strategy is actually generating business, which is a whole other conversation. And so you can take my work of just constantly dissecting what people are doing and figuring out what's getting them most results. And I will tell you, hands down, across the board, I love short form vertical. I think TikTok and Reels is definitely the place to be. What's funny is I don't think there's like a middle ground much anymore. You're either doing long form horizontal YouTube or you're doing short form vertical. Like there's not a ton of room for the 2-minute listing video anymore.
Or you're doing both and ripping out
short form vertical
of your long.
That's what we're doing. Yeah.
But I will tell you, the biggest businesses that I'm seeing from social media are almost all built on YouTube. But YouTube is a long play. And when I say long play, I mean 6 months to a year. Mm-hmm. Which when you look at the business it generates and how that does over time, like it's nothing, but when you're starting out, it seems like a lot of work. And so like Jeremy Knight's one I keep referencing. And the reason I reference Jeremy Knight is Brad
McCallum. He's a real agent.
No, happens to be.
No way.
But the reason I reference Jeremy Knight is like Brad McCallum, also real agent, some of the best listing videos in the industry.
Yes.
He is like an artist.
Yeah,
he looks great on camera. He's got a personality that I look at, in a very small percentage of the agents that I know can replicate that. And so I love shining the spotlight.
I could never do what Brad does.
Right, you can never do what he does.
No.
And then I look at a guy like Ken Pozek in Orlando, which he's not at Real, so there you go. He's a Keller Williams guy. If you look at what he's done, highly informational content and whatnot, he's done it at a super high, amazing level. I think the guy's going to do $300 million this year just off of YouTube in the Orlando market. I mean, not just, but like that's the foundation. But when you look at Jeremy Knight, and I say this as, I'm good friends with Jeremy. I love the guy. When I watch his videos and I watch what he's done, I see something that I think a lot of other agents can replicate, because he's just, he's not like some amazing artist. He doesn't, Ken Pozek is crazy intelligent. Not that Jeremy's not, but you know what I mean? Like I see a ton of agents could go out there and commit to doing what Jeremy Knight has done.
Well, Jeremy's stuff is something that I actually think I could pull off in a local market, because it's more my style. Like sit down, maybe do like a green screen image of a local community or a piece of news in your community.
Yep.
And he's basically news broadcasting Austin, Texas.
So the biggest thing that Jeremy's been able to do, which is the key to success on YouTube, is he's gotten out of realtor brain and he's sat in the seat of a consumer on YouTube and figured out what topics to talk about. So, he's in Austin. Austin has a bunch of people moving from California to Austin. And if you were to search moving to Austin from California, right?
He's got a video that's over 250,000 on that.
Okay.
But my point is, if I told a room full of realtors, say, write down some video topic ideas for people moving from California to Austin, I would get best things to do in Austin, best restaurants in Austin, best neighborhoods in Austin, reasons why you should move to Austin, right? Those are all the realtor ideas. Jeremy's video is huge regret moving from Austin to California.
So we were talking about this strategy last night. So I actually am a big believer in this. We're doing the same thing in our team right now.
Yeah.
Also, the California thing is such a hot button. Like Taya, we were talking about California Exodus. Bobby remembers the Taya pod. Those TikTok clips went over 1 million views. Just talking about California Exodus, because it, like, even if you weren't from California, the comment section was insane.
So many people have an opinion about it.
Oh, it was insane.
But my point is that as agents, and I think this is industry-wide across a lot of things, we have such a disconnect between what the consumer actually wants. Like, I think it was Gino was talking about Maybe.
Gino Blafari, CEO of BHHS.
Was it him
Services.
that was talking about it?
Home
Who
Services.
was talking about listing agent leads? Or was that Nick?
Nick.
Nick was talking about it. How us as realtors think that leads on a listing should go to the listing agent.
And that's dead on arrival because the listing agent doesn't call back right away.
Yeah.
And
Kidding me?
it's
And
speed
that's what Nick
to
said.
lead.
It's dead on
But that is a huge disconnect between what realtors think and what the consumer thinks. Consumer doesn't care. Just give me the information.
Sometimes the
as quick as you
consumer
can.
may not want the listing agent. They want
Exactly.
their own person representing them.
So we have a big disconnect with realtor. What is it? What's the where everybody thinks the same thing? Hive mind, right? Realtor hive mind and actual consumer thought, and we have it with marketing too. That's why, I mean, a couple times it came up like at our thing, like nobody cares about your market update. We have to, and you're going to get the comment sections that's like, I do a market update and 4 people called me. Overwhelmingly.
There's some people killing it on market updates, so I would disagree that nobody cares.
But the frame around it's got to be, here's what's happening in the market, and here's what it means for you, the consumer. And that's the
yeah,
message
you
a
have to
lot
have
of
a
people
hook
don't
to
put
it.
out there.
I'm just to get eyeballs on it. You can have the
Exactly.
best written book in the world, but if you don't market it correctly, it's not a New York Times bestseller.
So from a marketing standpoint, exactly. Like people don't want to hear
Stats.
the stats. They want to know your opinion. They want, I think as realtors, we need to become better storytellers.
They have to get hooked into consume the
Yeah.
stat to begin with.
So just overwhelmingly, I think when we think about our video topics and we think about what we're doing on our marketing, we're doing it from this
Realtor
weird realtor mindset. And we're not just putting our butt in the seat of the consumer and saying, what's a topic in a thumbnail on YouTube that people that are interested in moving to my market can't help but click on?
So there's your agent hack. Put your butt in the consumer seat.
Well, you know what the challenge is with a lot of this? There's so many new realtors that have gotten into the business, and a lot of them have not gone through a real estate transaction.
Yeah.
It's a problem. They're like, oh, you shouldn't worry about this. Well, would you worry about it if you bought a house? Oh, well, I didn't think about it. I mean, they just don't. There's no empathy there.
Over 50% of agents haven't done a transaction in the last 12 months. And
So you know what's fun about YouTube is, so I go back to Jeremy. I just got done building his presentation with him, so I've seen all his numbers. I've seen all his back-end stuff. And he's got don't quote me here, it's something like 23,000 hours of watch time a month. And that means every minute on average, there's 8 people watching his YouTube channel.
yeah, you can't duplicate that.
You can't beat that.
Yeah.
Great hack.
But that's the thing, though, when you talk about agents that haven't done a deal and all this other stuff. If you are good at your job and you do know what you're talking about, like you have a responsibility
I agree with this.
to put the content out so people can be educated by you instead of somebody else. And the obvious benefit of that is you'll get more business. But like you said, there's so many bad agents in the industry. If you're not doing your job on social media, they're going to get more business that you should be getting.
And most people are going to go with the first agent they meet anyway. It's over 70% of consumers hire the first agent they meet. And it's not the consumer's job to know you're doing a lot of business. It's your job to get it out there. And what you said really rings home for me. I feel like it's a disservice to the consumer when we don't reach out to them, because if they hire a bad agent, it can hurt them financially.
Yep.
Period.